Hi everyone, and welcome to our video on the full moon in Aquarius. I'm Emmeline Muldoon with Emmeline's Astrology, and I'm here today with Jim Delacolli.
Hi everyone, how are you?
So we get together twice a month and we do videos on the full moon and the new moon. It's just to give you all some information on how to work with that energy. Now, this full moon that's coming up in Aquarius is actually, it's coming up on the 11th of August next week, is the fourth super moon in a row. We've had 4 super moons for the last 4 months. So this is a big full moon. A super moon is when the moon is at the closest stage, the closest part of its phase to Earth. So it's intense because it's right there close to us, affecting us. So this full moon is going to be intensely felt by us all, as were the previous 3. Okay, so I wanted to start, I suppose, Jim, by talking about this the Scorpio. We're filming this on the Scorpio moon, so this is a few days before the actual full moon in Aquarius. And what's happening at the moment every month, because the South Node is in Scorpio and the North Node is in Taurus, what's happening is once a month, that moon in Scorpio is hitting the South Node, and it's done that today. Yeah. So, I mean, when the South Node hits the moon, when the moon hits the South Node, I should say, but it's doing it once a month, and it's at the moment, as I said, it's in Scorpio. What it's doing is it's really releasing energy, unearthing things. We're getting to the bottom of stuff. You know, this is Scorpio. It's hidden information. It's secrets. It's trying to find out what's going on. So, you know, for me today, I've not been feeling too well. I've been a bit under the weather for the past week. But despite needing to rest and wanting to rest, what's happened is my Scorpio house is my 4th house. So I have had this sort of like release energy going on in my home chart, part of my chart. So for me, I've just been cleaning my house out today, vacuuming all the cobwebs behind things, pulling out furniture, doing all those jobs. And I just thought it was such a great illustration of the astrology, because it's like my 4th house and I'm releasing and I'm clearing stuff out. So, you know, think about where your Scorpio house is, because you're having that purge once a month at the moment.
Yep.
Which is really interesting. How's your Scorpio South Node moon monthly meetup going, Jim?
Yeah, it's interesting. As we chatted, and now we're tossing on the video, so I guess we could show our more of our human side. Mine's the opposite of you. Mine's 10th house, and I've had just seems like just one event after another with whether it's somebody who wants to come and deal. 10th house is a career, come and deal with me, but they're not the type partners, or they're not the type people that I work well with, maybe, or they're people that I would deal with because they had power. And then as I dealt with them, I realized it took more and more of my energy to get less and less benefit, which is what happens when we deal with Scorpio and the soul, because Pluto rules Scorpio. And so I'm learning the word no, and it's been kind of pleasant because I'm seeing in this aspect of in the business world how I undo myself by feeling that, oh, that person's smarter, or that person's got more money or more knowledge in the arena that we're working in, and I give them way too much power to begin with. Not there's no disrespect involved. I'm not going there, but I'm realizing that I need to maybe put forth a little more of who I am, and then not allow others to, or allow them, give them the ability to have more say so over me. And so it's been a very interesting run here, as we're all in the end just seeking the truth.
That's really interesting, because that plays into an aspect in play at the moment, Venus opposite Pluto, and that's also for this full moon as well. And that, you know, if we look at Venus opposite Pluto, we can see power struggles. Sometimes there's power struggles in plays in relationships, and sometimes there can feel like a victim, and then the more superior person with the relationship or the situation. So what you're doing is, you're stepping up, and you're using that challenge, that power from Pluto to change it.
Yes.
So that's pulling into that transit as well. And also I think we're pulling into we're both Libra suns, so learning to say no is a big part of our journey.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So,
we came to learn and feel and understand what others are feeling and try to incorporate back into our life. And a lot of times we give up too much of who we are in trying to please or come to understanding through others. And then you have to flip that. So yes, that's a painful but a lesson of balance through this whole life, as you and I can probably describe that for years and years and years upon,
oh yeah, definitely, that Libra energy. So it's really good to know if you are a Libra sun as well. Learning to balance is really important for you, because your sun wants to shine, and in Libra it's almost being held back because you're putting yourself to the back burner to help everyone else or be there for everyone else. So it's important, if you have a Libra sun, or someone that has a Libra sun, or you have a child that's a Libra sun. I think this is such a good tool for when you have children and you're a parent and you can see, oh, my child is a Libra sun. They need to shine, their sun is being pulled back, so they need to learn how to say no and let themselves shine sometimes.
Yes, and sometimes it is at the expense of others. So yes.
Yeah, it is. So it's always good to work with the astrology when you've got children, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Or just other people that you're living with or you're in a relationship with. It's always good to see how it works.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that, Pluto Venus. Venus wants to bring ease, and it wants to bring to a degree abundance and love, and when it opposes Pluto as it is now during this moon, it's about us trying to figure out what is love, what is abundance, what is ease, and so you're having to deal with that. And then what have I understood? That you might want to look in the mirror and dissolve the ego here and go, what have I tried to understand or understood in ways that maybe isn't even the truth for me or truth at all? And because I think a lot of this is about lies, where we're headed, which I know you're going to bring up and talk about, but a lot of this is about the lies that are being exposed, and they're everywhere. So
yeah, we're definitely seeing that with the Scorpio South Node, isn't it? We're uncovering.
Yep.
I'm going to share the screen. We've got the chart here for the full moon next week in Aquarius on the 11th of August. It's at 9:35 p.m. and I've done the chart for Charlotte. That's where we are. But ignore, as we say every time, ignore the houses if you're in a different part of the world, because it will be different depending on which part you're in. But if you're on the East Coast, then it will be here with a Pisces rising chart. Okay, so this is another big, I think we should probably start by we touched on this last time we spoke about this with the new moon, but we've got this pile up still, the Uranus North Node, Mars still, well, is Mars, yeah, Mars is still loosely there, in aspect with those two hanging out. So we were talking about this before we started the video. I have had readings this week with people and really seen this energy coming out big time. This is the North Node, which is our direction, where we're moving, where we're meant to be going, almost our fate or our destiny, if you will. And Uranus is events that's coming up that we're not, that we don't predict, we don't see coming. And Mars is also fast, it's action, it's quick. So there's these quick events or something, or realizations, breakthroughs that's been going on all week with people. And I've seen it, and it's been very intense. And as much as it can seem difficult or crazy this week, what I have seen also is a lot of clarity and calmness, and people saying, you know, I get it. I almost get it. And I mean, I almost had to go through that craziness to get to this clarity.
Mhm.
And that's here, and that's in this chart that we're looking at right now for the full moon. But this is just to let you know that, you know, the North Node and Uranus are hanging out together until February 2023. So these revelations, these changes, they're here to stay for the next few months. We are definitely having a time of breakthrough energy.
Mhm. And I always like to describe Uranus whenever we deal with it as, you know, the shocking sudden event that helps you seek and find your truth. So, but you know, what the opposite of that is, sometimes you got to find the untruth or the lie to get to the truth. And so the lies are being exposed quickly. I'm hoping that you're noticing this, and I think they're to a level that none of us imagined, but it's because we're finding the truth. And so we're going through that and going, wait a minute, maybe if this isn't right, maybe, you know, whatever, you know, that ain't right. And you start looking and you're starting to find your truth, and you're building this new base of, man, I think maybe almost everything's been untrue. So I hope that's happening. I hope you're seeing it, because the truth is everywhere now. So, you know, you gotta get after it, and you gotta dig from within, and which is that's what we've been talking about, is you working from within. So
yeah, and as you can also see, I think what plays into what you just said on this chart, we have Mercury over here, and that is making an aspect to it's at 12 degrees, so it's making an aspect to the North Node as well.
Yep.
It's actually a trine over here. As you can see, I'm drawing over the chart here. Hopefully it's coming up on the screen. But this is when you've got Mercury trining this North Node, and also because the North Node is next to Uranus, it's bringing in that Uranus as well. It's really saying, like, information is coming at us thick and fast. We're getting stuff that's coming up that we never saw before, that we never knew before. Watch out for what you hear. Watch out for what you are talking about with other people, because Mercury's talking. He's literally talking to our friends, our siblings, our neighbors. Look out for what you read, and new information that you're learning that's just sort of coming at you out the blue, because that might be really important, because it's trining that North Node. What you're hearing about over this week could be moving you forward to where you're meant to go. So what you're learning, what you're discovering, what you're picking up is pulling us forward somehow. So just, you know, pay attention to what you learn. Mercury is what we learn. So
Yep, I don't need to add anything to that. That's good.
Excuse me drinking my tea. My sore throat from my cold all week is the tea is really helping.
Good, we got to get you better.
Yeah, helping get me through. So yeah, so that Mercury is really important. So yeah, listen to what we are finding out, because the information is coming thick and it's coming fast.
Yes,
definitely is. The other thing we have, you know, we have a lot of aspects with the nodes. So this full moon, as you can see from looking at this chart, is actually, it's squaring the nodes, the North Node in Uranus as well. So it's actually in a grand cross, but it's both of them are squaring. So we've got the sun squaring the North Node, we've got the moon squaring the North Node, sun squaring Uranus, the moon squaring Uranus, this grand cross. This is control. This is people that have had these positions that we just sort of even take for granted. We're so used to seeing this establishment almost, and then this is the control may be changing. Uranus is like the maverick, the sun and Uranus. This is the rebel. This is us saying, oh, we're getting the ideas, and I don't know if I want to keep that the same anymore. So, you know, watch out for what you're hearing, and then watch out for how you want to react. The one thing I would say with Uranus and the sun is sometimes we can be really quick. We hear the information and we just react, or we just speak, or we just say something, and then maybe in hindsight, that wasn't the right thing we wanted to say. So maybe take a bit of time before you do process, before you react, but definitely this is going to be original ideas, original thoughts, rapid mood swings, rapid emotions.
Yeah.
Moon and Uranus coming together is in a square, it's an emotional time.
And these are fixed signs. So we're dealing with all four of the elements and all four of the fixed signs here. And fixed signs are where we can be very stubborn. But I like to talk to the language of the fixed signs, in that you must observe, but you must step back, or you also must do the work. So you might be doing the research and observation, but you also got to apply. So with what you're learning, apply it now. Because you're not going to be an expert yet, but start that process, because it's going to keep you from having that ego-driven fixed perspective, and just hold on to something to where it becomes crippling. So I'm hoping that you can step away from it, count to 3, and let yourself observe before you, like you said, jump in and react too quickly. So because of the fixed nature, you're going to want to be careful, because you're going to face opposition. That's why we're having what's going on to this level, because this is like, there's no way, you're seeing stuff and they're going, there's no way, and then it comes in another layer, and then you're only saying there's no way once, then it comes in another layer, and then all of a sudden you're going, this might be true. I might have seen this, and I might be in error, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. Or you might have seen, and you were on the correct end, or the truthful end of this, and nobody else believed you, and they're going to come back to you and go, guess what? I think you might be more right than I thought. So be ready for either side, but don't be a finger pointer here. Do not do that with the fixed sign, because you don't want to rub it in, as you'll pay the price later. So be careful. Again, if somebody admits that you were right and they were wrong, give yourself count to 3 before you respond.
Count to 3.
Yeah.
Count to 10.
Yeah. Or count to 3,000 maybe is what you need to count to. So
I feel there's so much change coming with the Sun and the Uranus aspect there. So one thing I usually say when I'm looking at this aspect is, just try and make the positive change come, because there's change coming. So try and push in that positive spin to it, like pushing what you want to change, or how you want it to go as well, as much as you can, because Uranus is changing us, and the changes are coming. But you might have had an inkling about these changes, because for the last sort of week or two, Uranus has been hanging out there with the North Node. So it's sort of, even though they can come and they're surprising, it might not be like a complete, oh, I didn't see that coming, because they've been hanging out for the last 2 weeks together, those planets. So it's almost like there's been a hint of it, and now it's like, oh, it actually happened.
Yes.
That's coming through now.
Yep. And then
sorry.
And I'm gonna add this with this full moon being in Aquarius, the final of the air signs. I came across that, and I forget who the guy was who talked about picture the air signs, and picture it as like a wind, and you're looking over a vast field of hay, and you watch that wind bend that hay, because it hasn't been cut right, and you're watching it just cross over, and how it touches, and but you can't see it, right? So with Saturn being here and this full moon being here, that's the truth. It's there, it's out there, and it's all around you. Start tapping into what the universe has and is, even if you can't see it or touch it, because it's all around you. You're going to help affect your environment in ways you've never dreamt, by stepping back and just allowing yourself to be with the environment. You're going to like this, I'm telling you. And it's where we can head. So hopefully this moon will awaken you to possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that moon is hanging out there with Saturn, isn't it? So, Saturn put the work in with the moon, with our emotions. This might feel like it's hard on women. The moon is also women. Might feel like women are find it emotional, maybe. because the moon is women, it's also emotions. So the feminine energy might be a bit emotional, I suppose. And Saturn right up there with it.
Yep.
But you know, this North Node Uranus, it's like we said, it's there till February next year. It's hanging around, it's making these changes. And then what, you know, because Saturn is moving retrograde right now, it's over at 22, and you can see it's got the R, it's going backwards, and we mentioned this last time as well. So it is going to form the last square to that Uranus. So we've been dealing with the squares. This is not new, but we're finishing up stuff. So we're that will happen in October when that last square comes in between Saturn and Uranus. So, you know, responsibility, conflicting with breaking free.
Yes.
And we've all had that feeling somewhere in our charts.
And you and I deal differently, but I have Saturn in the first house, and
Yeah.
Saturn is like the big burden on me, and I'm hard on myself. And I'm telling you, I have truly, for the first time in my life, I have no fear, and I don't feel those burdens that I think Saturn has helped me create and magnify up through my whole life till now. So it's I'm really benefiting here, and I'm enjoying it finally after all these years. So.
Well, I think Saturn in the first house does that, especially when it's near the ascendant, which I think yours is. You know, when it's there, the first part of your life can seem tough, or you've got to grow up quick, take responsibility, or maybe sometimes I see it with people where they're not doing what they want to do until the second half of their life when you've got the Saturn there. So it's like, you know, the first half of your life you're living, doing what you have to do, or doing what you don't want to do, or you're working for your children, or whatever it is. You're in a career that you didn't particularly choose, your parents chose it, you know, all those Saturn themes. And then you break free, and then, you know, you learn your lesson, and you're almost liberated from it. So I often see that with Saturn there. And my Saturn's next to Pluto, so I know, and the Sun as well. So I can see the benefits of the hard work.
Yes, you're
transformation
good.
The transformation it can bring. So, you know, that's why I always, you know, I'm an advocate for Saturn, because if you work hard, it gives you the rewards.
And that's amazing that you that understanding, because you really helped me through it. So
thanks. Well, yeah, I think I had to process that Saturn Pluto, because we've all just gone through a Saturn Pluto conjunction in 2020, so we know how that
yes,
manifests.
yes,
when those two come together. So yeah, last time was 82, 83, when they were there hanging out together. So yeah, Saturn, it can be really helpful if you use it. I think if you're not doing the work, that's when it really hits you, like a Saturn return, you know.
yeah.
I always think of Saturn return. Yeah,
and
sorry.
I think Saturn, if you have fear at the forefront there, I think Saturn paralyzes you. So, you know, it looks like you're not doing work, but internally you're internalizing that. You're like, you know, and you're trying to figure it out, and you look at every obstacle and you make it bigger than it is. And, you know, and then once you start just taking one step at a time, because that's all Saturn really asks you to do, you start breaking that. So.
Yeah, exactly. So look at where, you know, Saturn's in Aquarius right now. Look at where this moon's falling for you. Look at where Saturn is traveling through for you, because, you know, that's where we're asked to take responsibility, where Saturn is transiting our charts.
Yep.
Okay, well, I think we've sort of covered all the aspects from this full moon, unless I've missed anything.
Yeah, I think we've talked about what I want to. You know, I'm gonna leave with this. It's about freedom. The more you fight being truly free, the harder and more effort you're going to put forth. So work on getting back on track. Work on building that new base for whatever it is you want to become. And the dissolving of the ego is going to be key here. So, you know, that's my key points here on this moon. Know that with this, at any moment, something shocking and sudden can change it all. So I'm going to tell you to prepare for that, but I want to be careful. I don't want to say that's absolutely what's going to happen, but I am going to tell you that I'm thinking there's a lot of sudden events that are going to come around the 11th and 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So get ready but it will lead us to a better place. I don't care what it shows initially. We're going to be better than we're going to be better left than we were when we came into this.
Yeah, that's what Uranus likes to do. And also the North Node there is pushing us to where we're meant to go. So
yeah, yep.
However it feels, it's going to lead us, like you say, to where we should be going as a collective and individually.
Yeah, yep. So
I hope that helps. If you have any questions, as always, give us a comment below on our YouTube and we can reply back to you. If you want to have some more clarification on what this means for you and your chart, how you're experiencing this energy, then obviously, you can get in touch with either one of us, Jim Delacoli, or me, Emmeline Muldoon with Emmeline's Astrology, for a reading. We're happy to help you understand this energy. Or I'm also on Instagram and Facebook with Emmeline's Astrology, so I often get comments and questions on there as well, so I'm happy to help.
Yep, good. Well, I wish y'all the best. I'm looking forward to this because I like that change that comes out of the blue. That's the funnest change, I think. So
yes, this is definitely the change that you look back on in years to come. This is how I've been describing it to some of my clients and go, oh, that now that's what changed this and everything else that came after it. It might not have even seemed that big at the time, but then you say, oh, right, that was that week or that was that incident. It's all pinning back to now. So that's sort of how I've been trying to explain it. So
yep, that's perfect.
I hope that helps.
Hey, well, good luck because there's going to be a lot of stuff. So remember, patience, it's a fixed sign. Observe and then take action. Be careful.
Yes. We'll see you all next time when we do the new moon. And thank you for being with us today.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Take care.
Take care. Thank you. Bye, everyone.